Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Country with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've covered this week's X-Men, Spider-Man, as well as Avengers books for the week. Now it's on to this week's, well, the rest of this week's Marvel books, including a Devil's Reign tie-in, the second part of Reckoning War, Hulk, and Iron Fist. So and a quick, I mentioned in the last video, just a quick note, I want to apologize in advance for any noises my chair might make during this. It looks like the chair I've been using for the last while is finally giving up the ghost. So some parts popped off last night, and well, yeah. So there may be some odd noises coming from the chair. Hopefully, I'll be replacing it soon. Anyways, kicking things off, we've got Devil's Reign Superior 4, number 2. Where we left off, the Superior 4, consisting of Dr. Octopus as well as versions of Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Hulk from the multiverse who had been mind swapped with Dr. Octopus, and similar to how Doc Ock mind swapped with Spider-Man for Superior Spider-Man. Well, they were looking for other autos in the universe, and they actually found a teenage one on one Earth who seemed to be more of a Spider-Man, more in line with, well, Spider-Man, and Otto killed him, and also stole his knowledge. However, it appears they were being viewed by another Doc Ock variant, Doom, the Superior Octopus, who appears to be a variant combining Doctor Doom and Doctor Octopus. So we begin. Doom is looking at various variants of himself. They explain that in most universes, Otto Octavius is nothing but an impoverished shop from a broken home. But we got a world where Norman Osborn is trying to figure out how to cover up the death of Otto. Another world where MODOK wants to beheads him to make an example. Another world where he's addicted to Gamma. His brain fails at puberty. Another one where he's lost in the woods and no one looked for him. Meanwhile, 616 Otto is looking through the reality bridge, looking to find other variants, while the others aren't too impressed, really. But Supreme Octopus contacts Otto, telling him to stop. And before he can, further communications to be delivered, Banner pulls the helmet off of Otto. There's a fight between Otto and the other three before the bridge opens and sucks them all in. They end up on Earth 7214. But they end up in the Savage Land. They end up facing off against Superior Octopus. Supreme is able to stop them fairly quickly. And is able to actually talk sense into Howlett, Banner, and Blaze. And also basically turns off Otto's arms. However, The spell that was used caused blood flow to seize across Otto's body, perhaps due to the connection shared by the octopus arms and his brain. And so, Supreme Octopus, as well as Blaze, Howlet, and Banner, rip Otto's arms off, and Otto ends up a prisoner in the Supreme Sanctorum. The remains of another prisoner with glowing red eyes, potentially Cyclops, but we'll see, are in the same cell with him. But Otto vows that he will outwit this pernicious variant, raise his empire, and drink every last ounce of his mind. That is where the issue ends. Interesting. I guess I should have figured that the introduction of Doom Supreme would lead to a battle swiftly, as this is only a miniseries. Moving on to our next book, we've got Fantastic Four, number 40, part 2 of The Reckoning War. So in Reckoning War Alpha, turns out that some of the more savage races in the universe were being armed with weaponry devised by the Watcher, made out of Watcher technology by a group called the Reckoning. When Uatu discovered this, thanks to Nick Fury, he summoned forth the rest of the Watchers so they could discuss what to do. Shortly, almost immediately thereafter, the Badoon appeared in Earth's space and blew up the moon before beginning a large-scale invasion of the planet. So we begin on the planet Obscura Minor. A hidden world that was once home to the Rajlak, the most reclusive race in the galaxy. It now serves as a staging ground for the Reckoning in their rekindled war against the universe. There's a Watcher, however, imprisoned there, shackled to a giant X. He is Kyre, the Silent Watcher. But the leader of the Reckoning frees him. Wrath, by the way, Wrath of the Reckoning. But Wrath explains that the Watchers gave the Reckoning the gift of cosmic fire to warm their nights and cook their food and light their way. But when the Reckoning chose to use it to blaze their own path to become gods themselves, the Watchers stood back and watched as they burned. Even when facing death, and then Wrath kills Kyre. Explaining that the Reckoning's victory is assured, as they have all the Watchers' power, none of their limits, and no one to rival them. But Reed has been given a in the wreckage of the moon. Mr. Fantastic found a Watcher database, and has since learned everything basically about the entirety of the about the Reckoning and everything else, and he has a great deal of knowledge, and it's changing him. And Nick Fury is along for the ride. So, returning to the Baxter Building. Reed shaves and also utilizes a device to change the FF's costumes to more classic versions. Then he contacts all the heroes, giving Captain Marvel and Iron Man advice on the battle. As well, same with Captain America, telling Cap to pass the shield to Vance Astrovic, as all Badoon share a deep-rooted psychological fear of Astrovic armed with the shield rising up to destroy them. She-Hulk explains that tells Reed that this is a key moment and that she's a big part of it. And so her and Jack of Hearts are brought along. Moon Knight is collapsed on the ground, however, and Reed asks what he's doing, and Moon Knight explains that he's empowered by Khonshu, god of the moon, and the moon is dead. And Reed states that Khonshu's also the god of vengeance. Mark is his champion more than anyone on Earth. It is Mark's duty to avenge Khonshu. And that gets Mark back up on his feet. Fury accuses Reed of taking advantage of a mentally unbalanced man. But he realized, but at the moment, with the Watcher knowledge, he says there's no problem he can't solve. And Johnny, can we, maybe get it so I can flame off? And Reed says that he can see how to do it, but he won't. Because right now, Johnny's the biggest weapon in their arsenal. The Silver Surfer contacts him and explains that war is breaking out throughout the universe. Meanwhile, at Camp Hammond, Doom breaks in and looking for a specific weapon. But the various some of the conflicts, the reckoning of every warlike race and being in the cosmos with watch level technology. The Mechanics are laying waste to the Kree Alliance, and Annihilation Wave has reached Spire. The Marani are attacking the Shi'ar, and the Badoon are invading Earth. And the Heralds are attacking Asgard to reclaim the body of Galactus, which is where Surfer's headed. As Surfer signs off, Sue asks if Surfer's going to help Thor or the fellow Heralds. And it's not entirely made clear. Reed decides that the FF are best utilized in Shi'ar space to help defending the M'Kraan crystal. But Johnny says that doesn't matter. Spire, the home planet of Sky, is facing the Nihilists, and so Johnny flies out to save Spire, which was exactly what Reed intended to happen. And Reed makes an improvement to Sue's costume, making her truly invisible, much like Fury, using some Watcher technology to make it so she's actually invisible. The rest of the four. So they split up into teams. Fury is sent to is sent on a mission, and the rest are sent off to to deal with to deal with the McCanns. Uatu arrives on planet T37X, as well as the rest of the Washers. And he states that their original sin, the Watcher, the Reckoning, has returned. The time for watching is over, and they must go to war. In Shi'ar space, they arrive on one of the planets and find that the Imperial Guard have been made short work of. But Ben sees one of them, and he explains that there was a time back in Square number 28. They all looked in the future, and the Griever made them live their deaths over and over. One of these two is the one who finally kills Ben. But however, Ben's got his own problems. Reed's got his own problems. All the knowledge of the Watchers was never meant for a human mind. So, and his mind is melting down. And among the things he knows is that the knowledge he has now is killing him. He'll be dead in 3 days, and there's nothing he can do about it. And that is where the issue ends. I am enjoying the Reckoning more so far. It'll be very interesting to see how everything plays out. There's a mention made of just how powerful Gladiator is, that he is as strong as the Hulk and Hyperion combined, meaning that those that took him down, woof, yeah, they ain't playing around. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Hulk number 4. Where we left off, the Hulk, a spaceship Hulk on its way through on its travel through the multiverse, was pulled to another Earth by another Bruce Banner. That Earth being Earth 122. At the White House, President Ross is informed that Banner's been found. He wants to make sure that Banner is brought in and taken care of. But it turns out that Hulk is viewing the history of this world. Bullet points, basically. Anthony Stark, weapons developer, arms dealer, industrialist, designation hostile, status deceased. Following the emergence of the Gamma Revolution, Stark Industries became obsolete. After the eventual takeover of his company and the subsequent absorption of his technology, Tony faded from the spotlight. 5 years after the fall of his empire, Stark was found dead outside of a bar in Queens. Autopsy reports found cause of death to be severe liver toxicity and complications from severe and chronic pancreatitis, leaving no heirs. The X-Men, superpowered strike force, children of the atom, designation hostile, status exterminated. Their almost immediate eradication did not allow for adequate genetic testing. The sudden outbreak of mutant kind is believed to be created by the fallout of the gamma testing. For the safety of the human race and for the good of the United States of America, this threat was quietly disposed of before their numbers grew. And Hulk asked Banner if there's anyone left, asking about Blade or Moon Knight, Captain America, even Spider-Man. But Blade, Moon Knight, yeah, Banner's never heard of any of them. But something happens, and Banner knows he's been found. The military is using Stark weaponry, and Hulk tells Banner that he's got it. setting the engine room to level 2, but weapons actually managed to do some damage to the Hulk, and he rams things up to level 4. Turns out that in the engine room, level 4 is Marvel Zombies. And Ross gets in touch with Banner and explains that Banner's star pupil has been taken prisoner by and is being held at gunpoint. If Banner doesn't surrender, well, Ross will shoot the student. The other Banner tells him to quit, but and so the student is knocked out of the dropship. Soldiers come into the complex to take Banner's Banner into custody, and Banner's Banner explains to Hulk, who is about his pupil. His name is Peter, a research student of Bruce's, like a son to him, bitten by a spider that they had irradiated. Banner was hoping to cure him. And Hulk says it's maybe a dumb question, but the spider, exactly what kind of radiation was it? Seeing as how he's become a savage Spider Hulk. And that is where the issue ends. That's quite the chilling alternate universe. But Donny Cates' Hulk run, I mean, it's so far so good. Just for our last book for the moment, we've got Iron Fist, #1. So back in the Iron Fist Heart of the Dragon miniseries, Danny Rand gave up the Heart of Shulao and is no longer the Iron Fist. The issue begins several months ago in Kunlun. It appears that the egg of Shulao the Undying is hatching just in time for the Rebirth Festival. Now, Danny Rand is on his way to lunch with Luke Cage and Pei. But he's attacked by some demons when the new Iron Fist steps in and saves him. However, unlike Danny and other Iron Fists, this Iron Fist's fists are glowing green. Danny tries to work with the new kid, but yeah. We find out that the new kid is in fact Swordmaster, who was last seen in the Death of Doctor Strange White Fox one shot. Seemingly, his sword being shattered by a demonic Kumiho, and seemingly Swordmaster died. His body was searched for, but to no avail. However, apparently this was about when the dragon Shulao his egg was hatching, and it rejuvenated Swordmaster. But turns out some of the shards of his sword are stuck in his hands. But Danny's son was apparently brooding on a rooftop as an Iron Fist classic. The two of them fight. Danny's got the shard of the sword. Danny's just trying to get to know the kid, find out who he is. But Swordmaster takes the shard back and heads out. Danny gives chase. As Swordmaster goes through another gate to Kunlun. But when he gets to the gate, when Danny gets to the gate, it's gone. But Swordmaster turns out has been taken in by a family in Kunlun. And he's trying to put the pieces of the shards of the sword back together. But he explains the whole thing to the family, and the father goes to check out the tea and touches the sword and becomes possessed. It turns out he's been possessed, and that is where the issue ends. Okay, I have to admit I do kind of appreciate the idea that rather than just saying, okay, new Iron Fist, it's like, hey, we took this character we took this character and we turned him into the Iron Fist. It's quite cool. First, she's interesting. It'll be fun to see how this plays out. If this is an ongoing, I'm not actually sure if it's ongoing or if it's just a miniseries. But if it's an ongoing, I'll probably stay on it because so far I'm enjoying it. But anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying live long and rock hard.